Welcome to another home cooking session with old Food with the Fox. And today I'm going to be making, or showing you how to make, pizza dough. Now, for those that don't know, I actually worked in a pizza shop, an independent pizza shop for roughly about 4 years, and I was the head pizza chef there for 3 years. This recipe is the recipe that we used in the restaurant. Now it's obviously scaled down. We done it on a much bigger scale there, so I've just scaled the ingredients down, but it is exactly the same recipe that we use in the shop. It's a fantastic pizza dough. A little bit of time and effort goes into it, but for the results that you get in the end, it's well worth it. So hang about and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so here's the ingredients you're going to need for this one. You want to get a good bread flour, make sure it's bread flour. You need 4 cups of that. You need about 1.5 cups of warm water, some salt, some olive oil, a little bit of sugar, some fresh yeast. Now you can do this with dry yeast if you want. We always use fresh yeast in the restaurant, so that's what I tend to stick with. But you can swap that out for dry yeast. Just put your dry yeast satchel into your dry ingredients before you mix it all together. And last but not least, you need about 3 tablespoons of milk powder. First things first, we want to activate the fresh yeast. So to do that, you just get a little bit of lukewarm water, and you want to add about a teaspoon or a little bit more of sugar. Just dissolve that into the water, and then just add in your fresh yeast and do the same. Just keep stirring that till it fully dissolves. Okay, so once that's fully dissolved, that was about 10 to 12 grams of fresh yeast that we used in there. And once that's fully dissolved, we'll just sit that aside in a warm place and let that yeast activate. Well, it's been roughly about 10 minutes, and as you can see, that yeast has activated quite well. All those bubbles there means the yeast has activated. So now it's time to put the ingredients together. So with your flour, you just want to add in a little pinch of salt, and then into your water, just a little drizzle of olive oil there. Put your milk powder into the flour, give it a little mix, make a little well in the center there. Add your yeast mix in and add a little bit of the water, probably about half at this stage. You don't want to add it all, because we don't want to add too much water at this stage and have the dough too sloppy. Mix that around. As you can see, it's starting to come together quite well. I'm actually quite happy with that. All right, now it's time just to get in and mix it all together. Make sure the dough's all mixed up really well. You want to gather everything up together, and then we'll start to knead the dough. Your dough ball will come together, but now's the hard bit. Well, not the hard bit, just the tedious bit. We've got to knead this now for at least 10 minutes. So all I do is push down my palm, roll back with my fingers like that, just in one quick swift motion, away and back. I'll keep going with this and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Righto, that's been about 10 minutes, and by all means, if you've got a dough machine or a dough mixer, use that. I know we had one at the shop and made life a lot easier, but you can see there how that dough now has just really come together. The gluten's stretched out, it's nice and pliable and soft, and that's exactly what you're after. So once we get to that stage, just want to grab yourself a bowl. Nice clean bowl. Just give it a light spray with olive oil. Put your dough in there. Give it a nice little spray as well. Now, not over the top, guys. It's just simply to stop it from sticking. We want to cover that with the Glad wrap. like so. And we're just going to stick that in a nice warm dry place for about 2 to 2.5 hours for the first rise. Alright, so it's been around about 2.5 hours now, and as you can see the dough has risen, so I'm just going to knock that down. I'm just going to shape it into a bit of a bun shape, and what we want to do is just grab our knife and cut that into two. So this dough mixture that I've made will make 2 pizza bases, and we want to just roll them into individual dough balls ready to go for the 24-hour rise. Alright, now we've got our 2 individual dough balls. We want to put them in an airtight container. We're going to spray them off with a bit of olive oil. We're going to lock that lid on nice and tight because we're going to put them in the fridge for around about 24 hours for the second rise. Now, we want to put them in the fridge so that second rise is nice and slow. Well, it's been 24 hours and I've just ripped the dough out of the fridge. Well, actually, I took it out about 2 hours ago. You need to take it out and put it on the bench. Get the dough to room temperature, and that takes around about 2 hours. Now you want to get it to room temperature so it's easier to work with to make the actual pizza base. Alright, so here's the dough. It's been in the fridge for 24 hours. It's rested on the bench top for another 2 hours. So what we're going to do is start making our pizza base. So we do that, flour up your bench really well, and then get your dough, make a little bit of a ring on the edge. That's going to be your crust, and then hook into it, start stretching it out, get it down on your bench, flatten it out, get it to the desired diameter that you need for your pizza tray. Just work it from the inside to the outside. Don't make it too thin, you'll still want a little bit of body in there. Throw it on your pizza tray, shuffle it out, and get ready to throw your favourite toppings on to make the best pizza you've ever had. Well, thanks guys for joining me on another episode of Food with the Fox. I hope you give the Scooter Fox pizza doughs a go. I'm actually going to do a couple of videos coming up where I make some pizzas out of these, so stay tuned for that. But hey, like always, if you like the video, hit like. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. And the old Scooter Fox will see you next time there's food involved. Alright.